Hi everyone, welcome to Math 150 College Algebra. Today we will learn about complex number. Complex number and imaginary number. The imaginary unit I is defined as I equal square root negative 1, where I square equal negative 1. So you have to remember this one. Okay, I equal square root negative 1 where I square equal negative 1. Remember, yeah, you have to memorize this one. Okay, the set of all numbers in the form a plus bi with real numbers a and b and I, the imaginary unit, is called the set of complex numbers. So the standard form of complex number is A plus BI. The form of a complex number A plus BI is like the binomial A plus BX. To add, subtract, and multiply complex numbers, we use the same methods that we use for binomials. Go to the example here. Perform the indicated operations, writing the result in standard form. Okay. 5 minus 2i plus 3 plus 3i. Because this is positive, no change sign. Yeah, so I can write down 5 minus 2i plus 3 plus 3i. Remember, combining like term. Constant with constant, yeah. This is 5 with 3. So 5 plus 3. The next one is negative 2i plus 3i. This is like term. Okay, so we can write down negative 2 plus 3 times I. So the answer is 5 plus 3 is 8. The next one, negative 2 plus 3 is 1. 1 times I is I. So the answer for A, 8 plus I. Now B. 2 plus 6i minus 12 minus I. So remember distributive property. Yeah. So now you can write down over here 2 plus 6i. Negative times 12. The answer is negative 12. Okay. Negative times negative is positive I. Okay. Again, like terms, right? So 2 with negative 12 put together. So 2 minus 12. Okay. What next? Imaginary number. Yeah. So 6i and I. So write down 6 plus 1 times I. So the answer is 2 minus 12 is negative 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. So the answer negative 10 plus 7i. Now go to the next example. Find the product A 7i times 2 minus 9i. So you can write down here distributive property. So you can write down 7i times 2 plus 7i times negative 9i. Okay, so now 7 times 2 is 14i. Positive times negative is negative. 7 times 9 is 63. I times I is I squared. Okay, remember this is I squared. Okay, I squared equal negative 1. You check now. 14i minus, excuse me, 63, I squared change with negative 1. So 14i, negative times negative is positive. 63 times 1 is 63. So the answer 63 plus 14i. Now B. use the FOIL. Okay, so 5 times 6, we got 5 times 6 over here. 5 times negative 7i, we have 5 times negative 7i. 4i times 6, we got 4i times 6. Next, 4i times negative 7i. 4i times negative 7i. Yeah, so we can solve now. 5 times 6 is 30. Positive times negative is negative. 5 times 7 is 35. I. Don't forget. Okay. Next one. Plus 4 times 6 is 24 times I. 4 positive times negative is negative. 4 times 7 is 28. I times I is I squared. This is like term, yeah? We're going to solve this one. So 30, negative 35 plus 24 is negative 11i. Remember, we change, yeah? Change I squared with negative 1. So negative 28 times negative 1. So 30 minus 11i. Negative times negative is positive. 28 times 1 is 28. Like term, yeah? 30 plus 28. The answer is 58 minus 11i. Now we talk about conjugate. For the complex number a plus bi, we define its complex conjugate to be a minus bi. Okay, the product of complex number and its conjugate is a real number. Okay, remember this one? This is negative and this is positive. Okay, so now we use the FOIL method, yeah? So a times a, I can write down a times a times negative bi, a times negative bi, bi times a, bi times a, bi times negative bi, bi times negative ba. Okay, we solve now. A times a is a square, a times negative bi is negative abi plus abi. Positive times negative is negative. B times B is B squared. I times I squared. This is like term, yeah? Combining like term become 0. So now A squared minus B squared change I squared with negative 1. So A squared negative times negative is positive. B squared times 1 is B squared. So the answer for A plus BI times A minus BI equal A squared plus B squared. So become real number. Okay. Complex number division. The goal of complex number division is to obtain a real number in the denominator. We multiply the numerator and denominator of a complex number quotient by the conjugate of the denominator to obtain this real number. Our goal to get real number. Okay. Define the express the result. Define and express the result in standard form. 5 plus 4i over 4 minus I. Remember, conjugate 4 minus I is 4 plus I opposite. Okay, so we sum on the top with 4 plus I, on the bottom with 4 plus I. Okay, this is our goal to get real number, right? So now we just use the FOIL. 5 times 4. Okay, next one, this is 5 times 4. I just write down here. So 5 times 4. Okay, next one plus 5 times I. Okay, the next one for I times 4. Next one for I for I times I. Okay, over, okay, we can go directly because this is conjugate, yeah, complex number. So we just go to get the real number. You just go directly 4 times 4, 4 times 4 minus I times I. Okay, so we're gonna solve this one. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 5 times I, 5I. 4I times 4, 16I. 4I times I plus 4I squared over 4 times 4 is 16 minus I squared. Okay, now remember like term, yeah, like term, 5I and 16I. So the answer is 20 plus 5 plus 16 is 21. 21I, okay, plus 4 I squared change with negative 1. I erase this one, this is not dot. Okay. Okay. Over 16 minus I squared is negative 1. Our goal, yeah, to get real number. So now the answer is 20 plus 21. I positive 4 times negative 1 is minus 4 over 16. Negative times negative is positive 1. So yeah, combining like term, 20 minus 4 is 16 plus 21 I over 16 plus 1 is 17. So this is the answer, yeah. So they want with the standard form. Okay, the result become 16 over 17 plus 21 over 17 I. Just make a half like this. Okay. Now, principal square root of a negative number. For any positive real number b, the principal square root of the negative number negative b is defined by square root negative b equal I times square root b. Remember this one, okay? You have to know about this one. So negative square root negative b equal I square root b. Okay, we can write down like this. Yeah, we can write down square root negative 1 times b. Or we can write down square root negative 1 times square root b. Okay, remember I equal square root negative 1. So we change square root negative 1, I square root b. Now, go to the next one. Perform the indicated operation and write the result in standard form. Okay, so now for A, square root negative 27 plus square root negative 48. Okay, so now again, remember that negative 27, you can write down, because this is I, we can write down directly like this. This is I square root 27 plus I square root 48. We can do like this directly, right? So now after this, yeah, we can write down square root 27, yeah, in the bottom over here, because no space. I change the color, so over here, okay. So become I times 9 times 3, yeah. I times square root 9 times 3, 27 change become 9 and 3, okay. Plus, okay, I square root 48 change with 16 times 3. Okay, so now remember that square root 9 is, we can write down I square root 9 times square root 3 plus I square root 16 times square root 3. Okay, so now I square root 9 is 3 square root 3. Okay, plus I square root 16 is 4 square root 3. Okay, so I can write down over here 3I square root 3 plus 4i square root 3. So this is like term, yeah, because square root 3, so we can add it. 3i plus 4i, the answer is 7i square root 3. Okay. Now B. Negative 2 minus square root negative 3 square, the whole thing square. Yeah. So we can write down 2 times. Yeah. Become negative 2 minus I square root 3 times negative 2 minus I square root 3. Use FOIL. Negative 2 times negative 2. Remember, negative times negative is positive. So negative 2 times negative is 4. Negative 2 times I square root 3. So become negative times negative is positive. 2 times I is 2I square root 3. Okay. Now this one, negative times negative is positive. I times 2 is 2I square root 3. And negative times negative is become positive. Square root 3 times square root 3 become 3. I times I is I square. Okay. So now we're going to solve like term, yeah? In the middle, like term. So 4 plus 2i become 4i square root 3 plus 3 change negative I square become negative 1. So we're going to solve equal 4. This is become negative, yeah? Negative 3, yeah? This is become negative 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1 plus 4i times square root 3. This is the answer for B. Okay? I think that's all. If you have question, you just let me know. You send me email. Okay, so I will explain again. So see you on the next video. Bye-bye.